Well, hello church family. I hope this finds you well. Perhaps you think I've gone slightly mad, as here I am sat in front of a Christmas tree in our house. This Christmas tree went up right at the beginning of November when lockdown began. We thought, well, as December's normally so busy with all manner of Christmas things, we might as well make Christmas last a bit longer. Perhaps we're just mad. But the Christmas tree today helps us get underneath a little bit of what we're going to see in Luke. Because at Christmas time is a time of great celebrating, isn't it? Of presents, normally of family and sharing together. I wonder where Jesus fits on your list of how important Christmas is. I'm sure if we were a Christian listening to this today, we'd have him up there, but perhaps sometimes he comes a little bit down. I wonder where we think Jesus should come in other people's lists. Perhaps we know that he should be higher up, but actually, does it work? We're left with that question, aren't we? Why aren't more people coming to Jesus? Why don't people listen? And it is a hard question, particularly when we've prayed for and sought to share the Lord Jesus with people. We throw ourselves at God's mercy and ask why. But yet, today's little bit of Luke chapter 4, gives us great confidence that the gospel really works. It really works in yours and my life. We're going to be living evidence of this. It worked in Jesus' lifetime then, and it can work for people who don't know Jesus now. You see, because as he left, if you remember, he's been with the devil, then he got rejected by his hometown, and now he goes out and he starts teaching. And as he teaches, listen to this, Luke 4:32, they were amazed at his teaching because his words had authority. If only people did that when you shared something of your Christian faith or you tried to help them understand of Jesus. If only they were amazed at what you said. But here's why it is amazing. Because what happens in these next verses is Jesus boots out evil spirits. He then lays his hands on a lady who's poorly, makes her better. And then he seems to do the same again in reverse. He boots out evil spirits and then he goes out preaching and teaching again. What on earth is going on? It's a gospel sandwich round the edges of Jesus' teaching. The lettuce being Jesus booting out evil, and right in the middle, Jesus brings life. Listen. As he does so, Jesus left the synagogue and went to the house of Simon, Luke 4:38. Now Simon's mother-in-law was suffering from a high fever, and they asked Jesus to help her. So he bent over her and rebuked the fever, and it left her. We'd expect that from Jesus, but here's what Luke tells us. She got up at once and began to wait on him. You see, Jesus made her better, not just because he was kind, not just to show who he is, but with the purpose that she serves him, that her life turns around to follow him. Do you see the gospel sandwich? When the gospel is preached, it drives out evil and it brings people new life that mean they serve him. Friends, you and I are living proof of that. Once we were dead in our transgressions. We were under the prince of the air, the devil, the evil one. We were living for him. But as we heard that gospel preached, whether through the Sunday school leader, whether through up the front, whether from a friend, as it was preached, evil was driven out, new life was born, and yours and my life were turned around to serve him. We, even though we may not be the dramatic casting outs and healings of Jesus' day, are still doing exactly the same. We are living proof of what the gospel does. And friends, this is what the gospel's still doing in our land. People listening to this today in the last year who have heard the gospel, the evil has been driven out and truth brought in. Jesus has been crowned king. New life has been brought and their lives have been turned around to serve him. And friends, Christmas, with all its tinsel and trees, with all the difference that this year's going to bring, is still a time where we give people sandwiches, where we still use all the means that we can, whether on live stream, whether in our conversation, whether in cards, whether in gifts or books or leaflets or whatever it may be, give them that gospel teaching so that it drives out evil, brings new life to serve him. Friends, the gospel really works. It's what we need. It's what the world needs to hear. Of evil driven out, new life brought as people are brought to serve Jesus. Now that's the thought to make your heart sing.